Naughty, naughty.
Hi-oh, Beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chriscast. We are kicking off Season 23 in style with a big match with some former runners-up battling out to try and get some early points over their rivals. It does look like we are going to be going live in a couple of seconds. So if you're just joining us, this is the first match of the season 23 of ETF2L Premiership Highlander. This is the week 1 game on PL Upward between Feila eSports and inVision, two sides that have been runners-up in the past multiple times. Will this be the season that one of them does try and reach that elusive first place? I don't know. Who knows? But whoever gets the points in today's game will definitely be putting a big step forward towards those playoff positions. I'm CJ, joined by ArchRhythm on production and Domaytoe. Domaytoe, we're seeing Feila attacking first, inVision on the defense. How fast do you think this first round is going to be?
Indeed, and also delayed welcome once again for me for the broad YouTube crowd out there. We're seeing Feila, as you mentioned, attacking first there. They just want to set the time record, and I think if they can just plow through here, that really starts to set the pace. And they are not opting to be on crits, which is usually the little switch-up play that you want to have or that you'd expect from Feila, essentially. So I think they will try to have some suicides, and we'll see how prolific they ring out, and that will probably dictate the flow of the game. So as the gates do open up, CJ, take us away on the first approach of Feila going in here.
It is going to be the first suicide of the season, of course. In goes Joe, and
he just zooms out of there.
He just zooms out of there. He's going back in. He's doing the Kato on upward. He's going to land, and oh my! I'm choking on my surprise here. That is the first drop of the first suicide of the season.
That was
first drop of the
season. The fastest drop of Highlander. That was like 10 seconds.
Someone go back through the logs over the years. Has there been a faster drop in a Highlander season than in the first 10 seconds? We do actually see some kills here. Karoy taking some space going forward. Taking out, he takes out Stingan as well. You were saying Stingan might have the upper hand here, Domaytoe, but it does look like Karoy is starting to turn things on. And a lot of kills there. Dwoe is going forward. Is going to get... Lena goes down to 8 HP, and she does use it in the end. She feared the third rocket, and that is such an important force there coming out of Dwoe. But I don't think inVision have really got the space here, Domaytoe, to defend on second.
Layla shouldn't have, well, Layla was just sure that she wouldn't be the first medic to drop in the new season, so maybe she could have held on there, but in essence they're just going to brute force them once again in. Poi is going to get headshot in the end result, but they lost so many defensive force there, so much defensive force, but they're still trying to go forward here. Stingan with the soldier trying to take the space, they're getting huge rockets onto that card. Kuroi is getting headshot as well. DQZ getting stabbed though in this disarray of actions. Might once again salvage the offensive team that just spawns now, so in the initial fight, CJ, they didn't even have the fighting force there, but the repush just happened to kill all the players that were still defending this, so just an easy and fast grabbing on the second point there for Feila in just under 2 minutes.
Yeah, 151 for the first 2 points is very, very fast. You take a look at Layla, she has 85% in the back, but Joe getting headshot there by Stingan. He's on a 3-kill streak now, maybe starting to pick something. Swipes get a backstab onto Poi, so the combo is starting to die, and without your demo, pyro, and heavy in position for a push. This isn't the worst thing in the world though, because the car isn't really in a position to get ready for an Uber to be exchanged. We do see, actually, wow, a coach coming in here from Dwoe is going to take down Joe, so this is just buying more and more time, but DQZ is not building too fast. And at 45%, the car is just slowly but slowly. Oh, Swipes gets Joe, and Stingan gets Poi. They are just focusing the combo so hard, they're just not in a position. Stingan starting to turn things on a bit here. 6-kill streak now, takes down Karoy. And 60%. Feila may be forgiven here for thinking that the enemy team has an Uber, but they don't, and they're going to go in deeper. DQZ is actually pretty far forward. The Uber is going to use mostly onto the Sentry, but the Sentry is being rankled. They lose Tercio, and they also lose BB, so 2 plays down to that Uber, and they don't really get much done. Karoy is in a position here, Domaytoe, but this is just going to be about whether inVision can hold onto this cap before DQZ gets that Uber.
But they're fending them off, and this Uber right now is buildable. They fought Axio and the soldier out of the side tunnel there right now and starting to reclaim ground. They're onto Layla here. Zoe getting juggled into the sniper sideline just about the hill, and they're going to solidify the defensive situation there. Mac is also going to spawn. Mac was just so far ahead 20 seconds ago. He just got picked off really easily. It was looking perilously bad, but Swipes timing in, killing the Demo Man, and then just Sting and getting the first. Just going to be a record setter here, the first 6k of the season. Just the pick classes carrying and solidifying this third point to not just go down immediately, because it's looking better right now for Feila, for inVision. They have congregated on this point, they still have the 70% advantage. There is a little tick though on the card, which is BB. He's pushing it above the first slope, and they're just going to take positions here, but just about as he doesn't get on the top, they just crumble here, but it gets to Uber Force.
Yeah, they get the Uber Force. The most important thing is about getting Layla out, and you were talking about that little, oh, there we go, we see Streno just yeeting Joe off of the side of the map. The important thing really on this map at this point is to get the car up those little ramps, and as Domaytoe was saying, BB was very close to getting it up that second ramp, and it just sort of tumbled down a little bit. Now Lilypad's going to have a go trying to just edge it forward, but Uber advantage, it does look like this is going to be a bit of a pressure from tracks from most of the team. Layla is really far forward, she's just not in a position to stay alive, and Dwo is just going to say thank you very much, that's a med kill for my logs, and manages to take down Layla. She was nowhere near getting the Uber there to make sure. That's a massive misplay.
But Joe's in from the side house. They spotted him just about. A serious major happenings just happened there, as the word maybe proclaims, as like the frags that went down were so insane. I hope we got the cam on that. Strono got a reflect pipe kill onto a cloaked spy in the midst of that, and they just scrambled all the players out. Still remain on an 85% percentage, and the time is slowly ticking down, which is really a confidence boost here for inVision, which might have been a bit shell-shocked there, which on the first point they just dropped their medic immediately, and on the second point they just got rolled by a repush. But Axios in from the side house, like slowly they are just once again pushing this little card up, and Mac gets headshot before Uber even gets to pop. They're the Pyro going to get jugged away, but Dwo is so far onto Layla. Air shot on the tracks itself. Jesus, just about. They almost wiped from that, but like the salvage there. Going to put that in the frag folder, but only DQZ living there on the defense.
Wow, okay. I mean, if I was a medic on a team and the team was like, hey, you're going to die, but we are going to kill the entirety of the enemy team and get the cap, you'd be okay with that? I'd be like, yeah, go for it, go for it. I think Feila will be very happy with that. 5:38, not as fast as maybe they would have liked, considering the sub 2-minute time on the first couple of points, and DQC surviving does mean this is essentially equal Ubers, but look at Lilypad and BB getting that cart really far forward, around through the choke. A lot of people dying there. Dwo's going to get whipped to death by Satan, and 4 down now for inVision. They've got to try and keep somebody alive here. They're not defending the cart at all. It's air blast versus air blast, as Grip and Streno are just pushing each other, and it does look like Grip is going to do enough to try and get it, so maybe this is going to be a decent time after all. 6:34, and you would have thought with your medic alive, a passive hold there would have been perfectly holdable, but Feila just wanted to keep pushing forward there, Domaytoe, and they just focus their objective. That's what you've got to do in TF2, and they had people in the right positions. It was like a chessboard that was perfectly set up for the end game between that third and the last point.
I didn't 100% keep track on the defensive sentry gun. It mustn't have been up, because they just in a blink of an eye pushed from their high ground the offensive stance to the enemy's spawn, which is not a very usual sign. They're on upward. They didn't stop at any point there. They didn't even get wiped. Usually you lose players, but in the end the defense just rolled and blitzed to the enemy's team spawn, and there was only Strono there hiding in lower, getting his air blasts out, almost jumping into the pit, but getting blasted onto the high ground once again by the enemy Pyro, but in the end falling to bullets there. A victim that was, so no pit victim has been claimed so far, but yeah, as you alluded to, quite a respectable time. In contrast though, inVision shouldn't be too let down, or shouldn't feel too let down, because that could have been an even worse time to set your season off as it looked in the first 2 points, but we'll have to see if they can have a paralleling aggression here right now, as the Cow Mangler is the first shot there, but getting reflected like a pro.
I'm seeing Joe taunting, but Streno is all too wise about these stickies there. Camangler on defense, maybe the charge attacks are going to do. Dwo is in behind though. Oh, I love the skip jump on the right hand side.
The Blitz Uber is coming in from the front side, by the way. They just instantly were out with Uber, but it was just not the correct call. They're getting counter Uber done right now, and just the cleanup crew is on the front.
I can respect that. I can respect that. Sending in a fast sack and having everyone be like, okay, there's the soldier sack, and going in for the aggressive. But they do get Kuroi down, so no sniper. It means that they can bring their medic out. No Ubers in play. Get some pressure down. But that teleporter exit is up, and as we know, we see a lot of spies just going straight for the teleporter entrance and making sure those respawns don't get into action. But Stingen's time of being uncontested is gone. But Tercio is gunning people down. Takes down Grip. Takes down Poi. Axie is lurking in behind, probably giving his team some information. It doesn't really matter. 3 players down, and Feila do have to back away, but Kuroi with the headshot onto Mac, absolutely denied.
He just denied both explosive jumping classes there, just headshot Mac mid-air or like off the ground itself. Swipe's going to come in though, going to end Kuroi's kill streak there, and also Kuroi headshot the soldier there before, so completely protecting Layla there from the aggression going forward. Both Ubers are up, but I can also factually see the sticky trap. The sticky trap is always the bane to pushing the side tunnel.
We were talking about this before, weren't we, Domaytoe? That, you know, if the sticky bomb launcher was released today, like, it's just people would probably be upset. It's such a versatile weapon. You can deal damage, you can walk forward, you can set traps, you can just chill.
But I have one counter argument. It's not the Demo Knight.
Joe is just able to walk forward. Look how aggressive Joe is. He's so far forward. He is just showing no respect. He's giving Kuroi some space to reel off a couple of shots. DQZ can't even peek past the first point because he's about to get shut down. Huge Uber advantage here for Layla, and this is going to be frustrating for inVision right now. They would have gone into this game thinking, yeah, we should be able to beat this team and pick up some points. Mac is going forward. Axio gets the cheeky little backstab there onto the demo, so no pressure over the top. And yeah, Kuroi is starting to pick up some kills left, right, and center. Joe still being aggressive, Poi holding the sight on him. Domaytoe at the moment, inVision needs something to crack this hold, because this forward hold is looking really strong from Feila right now.
Yeah, they need to do it fast as well, because usually when you let the enemy team settle here, it does only revolve this one round into your favor, but probably the entire game, because just not being able to push this forward hold here is just so crushing for your morale. They're going to exchange Ubers right now, but after dropping Strono, and also DQZ is going to get blasted there onto the catwalk. Pyro is still not going to blast him into the pit itself. Tercio is going to explode there as well. There's a lot of chaos that engulfs these players as Mac is once again flying forward into a minigun. His hard counter, that is a perfect radar there for his hard counter, just going to jump into a wrapped up level 3 sentry gun, and the rest is just cleaning up remnants of these players. Swipes also getting spotted there in the side tunnel, going to get cleaned up there. Stinghand dying as well. It's just going to get bad for worse for them. They have to crack this down in the last half a minute, and till then it's really just a game of morale and psychological warfare, really, because as you probably know firsthand, it's really difficult for you if you're getting pinned down here and the defensive team just has this really prolific forward wall.
Yeah, Mac keeps getting picked up here. He seems to be getting focused really, really hard, and as soon as Mac is down, nice surf by Stinger there to survive, but with Mac going down, it seems like they have no one else really taking it upon themselves to go forward, and Joe is exploiting that by going forward and giving his sniper space. As you can see, Kuroi takes down Stinghand, so really struggling here from inVision. 2.5 minutes to go. We're starting to get to the point where it's going to be very, very hard for them to win this, and Kuroi getting another kill. Strono, and again, Domaytoe. Strono dropped on the Uber.
Yeah, and they just have to focus on getting this point. Essentially, all what you can do, Satan or Sultan there, Mac is going to fall in the end, just going to get wrapped there by a better Uber management, and just essentially the results of popping later there onto Layla. As I think the sentry gun there just got killed by a baseball, essentially just going to flex on them, because I think it is right now reaching the time where it is mathematically impossible to even push the entire map, but as I alluded to before,
maybe.
they have to.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
I'm gonna give it a few seconds. We could see something crazy happen here. Oh no, maybe not. Okay.
Well, you could see Joe maybe getting triple digits, but I think this is the only thing that will probably ring out here as some 12k.
He just takes down like 3 people with 1 pipe, including the medic. He's got 4 dominations right now. He's outscoring everybody on the server, including his medic. Oh no! Stinghand takes him down, and that's 2 of his dominations removed from the server, but it doesn't matter because Kuroi is going to take down Mac, and Mac just seems to be the focus of a lot of punishment right now. Feila do not want Mac to do anything. It seems that as soon as Mac starts to step forward, everybody who sees him tries to kill him, and then Joe just gets the beam and goes forward and sort of nukes. Swipes does get the backstab onto Layla though, so no medic. I think that was a drop, Domaytoe, from Layla. So we've seen 2 drops so far, and it does look like inVision is starting to crack this this second hole. But I think you can say it now. You can say it now. I think this is mathematically.
I don't know, I just got the calculator out. You're the one that studied something math-related.
All I know is it takes something like 43, 44 seconds to go from the 3rd point to the last point with ×3.
As if you weren't in a bootcamp run by Emilio, who just had you on the stopwatch there on every single
Emilio, that's how I know it. Emilio told me that. The amount of times he would just, we would get to the point where there was like 30 seconds left on the clock.
But focus on less interesting things. They're pushing in right now. Yeah,
it's just dead time, Domaytoe. This isn't interesting to me. This isn't interesting. Doesn't matter. This is just farming for logs at the end of the season. So Stinghan just killed Kulroy's, and now Stinghan can say, well, I got an extra sniper kill. So when we get to the award show at the end of the season, we'll be like, okay, well, sniper v sniper kill is really good. Layla's dead, so that's, that last clutch kill. So Swipes gets another med pick for the logs for the end of the season award show. So yeah, some people padding their stats at the end there. But the most important statistic there, Domaytoe, is that Feila pretty much, I could say pretty much hard-held inVision at second, and they're not going to be happy with that at all.
It is a game of snipers after all, and it is a game of demos after all, so as I was saying, maybe a bit shell-shocked there, just going to have a drop in the first 10 seconds and then getting rolled afterwards, so maybe they have a better time here when they set the record in the offensive stance.
Sometimes we do see that happen, an early kind of casualty can make players lose focus a little bit and struggle to get themselves back into a position where everyone's on the same mindset, but it also could be that...
But not if they're Prem gamers. If they're Prem gamers...
at this point, it shouldn't be an excuse. It shouldn't be an excuse. We always talk about this, but these are players... This isn't just a regular fixture of a bunch of gamers. These are players who have played in multiple games, multiple finals. These are players who know how to deal with the pressure. So we'll have to see how that happens. On this reversal and the second round, inVision will be in the blue, attacking first, and Feila will be defending and then trying to beat that time. Of course, if Feila do beat the time on their attacking phase, then they'll be taking home all of the points. 6 points available for grabs. inVision need to win this round in order to take it to a 3rd golden cap and have an attempt at a lion's share of the points. We'll have to see if they go fast this time, Domaytoe. I can see Duo's already out and DQZ is in the door, but they went rather fast last time. Looks like they're being a little bit more slow this time around.
Yeah, also Stroner just once again just keeping his own record alive. They're going to get shot by the sniper, also just point blank their Duo getting denied by Kurai. Just pinning the bullet between the eyes, but Kurai getting stabbed there. Pretty big opener if they want to push up that, but just Meg is getting peppered there on the left side, so weak, just having the most fun playing against the Pyro and the Heavy, just long range. They're going to deny him all day long. Satan trying to control top right. Swipes there way too overzealous on the draw, as their team wasn't even able to be close enough here to push this, because Tercio is trying to take space. They want to probably push this because they still had the demo man, they just had a pick there, but they just lost the players and going to get forced so early here right now.
Mac is getting a couple of kills there. He takes down Grip and Poi, and the counter Uber comes in rather late, but Joe really just doesn't have the space to get any kills. It does look like inVision want to keep this rolling forward and just do a bit of a dry push, as the the Pyro and the Heavy are both down for the defending team. Axie is also going to down the strategist. Forward takes down 2. Layla and Joe taken out of the game. Lilypad trying their hardest to keep that sentry alive, and Poi is hiding after taking the teleporter, but Mac has spotted him, and this is not going to end well. It's going to be Heavy versus Heavy battle, and in the end it's going to be the Scout that wins. I mean, that's how TF2 goes. But looking a lot better for inVision right now.
My mind is a bit wandering right now. The Pyro just walked in, there was no hit skin, he just held mouse 1 there for like 5 seconds on the enemy combo and they just died. So they're getting pushed right now though, maybe even in this side tunnel. They went to the side tunnel. Why do you do this? You can't even spread out your resources. They're just going to get peppered there by the defensive team. with alongside the Conjurer. You know, like they had all the players forced out anyway. Why didn't they even take the ground there? But they're going to lose so early here, but the defense team doesn't have the Uber yet. So once again, they're maybe even going to secure this ground, but the mini sentry is still staying up there, finally going to get killed. And the card in all of that, which was definitely the salvaging point, really got pushed well there. So just going to claim the second point quite so well. Didn't get, once again, just, you know, held on the second point, which is already looking better there. And Mac trying to jump in, not achieving anything.
Good attempt. I was going to say, sniper down, NG down. This is where inVision should be throwing their players forward to try to get a force out of Layla. Actually, a bit of a cheeky play from Py there. Manages to take down Tercio and get a bunch of damage, and DQZ is going to go down to BB. They just run forward with that Uber. They just try to get as many kills as possible. And the only way that was going to be good is if they manage to get the medic, and they do. It's going to be a bit difficult for them to hold this if the car had been pushed, but it's so far back, Domaytoe. They could just rebuild their sentry, get themselves into position, and inVision are going to try and dry push this. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do right now.
They are getting so much ground here because Feila is just holding so passive. They were waiting for their 4 respawns, and what I wanted to point out earlier the round before as well, it is sometimes hard to hold this staircase or the slope here, even because usually only your demo is the one before there, but Tercio going to get headshot, some forward pressure just lacking here, and just so many picks coming in there from the demo man. Joe enabled, gets a lot of damage in. Essex also going to succumb to some shots. They're just going to force him out low. The card is not even up the first slope, and they're doing well here at supporting Kuroi, supporting Joe, just able to lock this entire slope down for the moment, but Strono is prying forward and getting some progress onto just space being given to them, and they just walk through there on the side flank. Axio went down, but the Uber comes in right now and it's exchanging.
Yeah, there's pressure being put on the cart by Sam and Essex, but BB and Joe just clean that up, and DQZ is just alone running away on the tracks. Takes a lot of damage, but Satan's actually going to jump around, lands a nice rocket, but doesn't manage to get the kill onto Kuroi, which would have been, he's actually gone behind now, maybe trying to be annoying. Grip and Joe down, 15 seconds down for Joe, and that's going to mean Mac is going to say, hey, I'm going to take this corner. This corner is now mine. But inVision have been, actually they use Mac and they use Stinghan as well. So that's going to allow, when Joe comes down, he's going to say to his team, we're contesting this for sure. With not much pressure onto anything going on. Layla even gets a kill onto Strono. So inVision really struggling pushing this third point right now. They just seem to be losing too many players from the aggression of this forward hold. Actually getting the car up that second to last round. Mastic's trying to get it onto that last round now, and Joe and Kuroi both dead. This may be the red flag to try and get out of here and set up the last.
That all just worked because Feila decided to just stay mega passive all the time, even though they had picks at some point. There's still 4 players just on the respawn, so they are forced into a passive hold. Right now, Dro tried to pry once again forward, but Grip is the first one who has to get a grip onto reality, as the sniper sideline is a very vacant thing in this current upward last map. But there's so far forward here. DQZ going to run into the counter Uber. They're trying to exchange close range here. Maybe Joe even wants to cross onto the high ground. Yes, he does. Uses the invulnerability to just jump above, but only gets Tercio. They lose Kuroi there. They lose Joe. The mini sentry is going to kill him, and Layla only has her pyro and her heavy just to control the high ground. But the pyro jumps onto the top there, going to melt Stinghan away, and it's just quite scrappy here. But I think the defense in the end might actually recover, as DQZ so weak. Py just completely outbrains him there onto the tracks area. He just did not expect the heavy to just go this aggressive into him.
Yeah, I mean, Joe taking that Uber, solo Uber trade, and just chases up top and gets so much damage down, gets the kill onto Mac. That was the key thing. If Mac had stayed alive there, then it would have been okay. But the demo for demo trade, Joe was happy with that, with the knowledge that the rest of his team could do the cleanup and Grip with some nice jumps as well. Just they're just spreading out, and somehow after all of that, they have this top hold. Like, they have control of the high ground right now. In a scenario where they have an Uber advantage. So expect some suicides coming in. Py is going to deal with one. Mac is there. Gets pressured down to 8 HP, but survives. It's going to eat some lunch, Domaytoe. Isn't going to get finished off. And inVision gonna have to come up with another idea to try and get that force.
That high ground revolve almost natural, which was kind of the key concept there, because in essence, as inVision just had spawns, they should have maybe even tried to inhibit just Feila walking easily just onto the high ground there. Some snapper sidelines trying to get eked out there by Stinghand close range, but he got denied there by Satan just controlling the front stairs, but draw onto Satan just once again a soldier versus a soldier showdown. Stinghand going to get stabbed though, trying to get something before the Uber gets popped, but they're going to exchange onto the back stairs here. It is quite equal, but in the end, even Rip is going to fall there to some sticky traps and just sticky shenanigans from Mac. They're still clumped and clustered into this little area here. The card is getting sneakily pushed by the Spy, and they have fought them out for the minute. Joe is still the only remnant there on the top, going to fight the entire enemy combo, but finally he even gets them. It's Joe against the world, and the world crumbles.
It is absolutely criminal how he's able to do that. Sam is on the cart right now, but Joe is still putting some damage down and not allowing it to be done for free. Eventually gets the kill. This is crazy. 4 players left alive for Feila right now. Joe gets some damage, takes the sentry. Mac has to fall down to the low ground. Stinghand is up in the window. Boy is walking forward. Joe takes down Swipe. He is just killing. He is standing up the top. There's 4 players running at him. He's going to get a ton of damage down. It's going to cost him and Layla's life. That was kind of a do or die situation. Actually, it comes onto the cart. A little bit more blockage going on.
Oh! Going to save like 5 seconds at least, just about going to fart them off, but the heavy is now here. Fun over 8 minutes and 32 seconds. Not really paralleling the first time set by Feila, which was 2 minutes quicker there, but in the end they punished Feila just by walking straight into them, and Feila were just with 4 players, as you pointed it out, vibing basically onto the balcony, but in the end just too much damage going forward, and salvaging this from being an insanely long time, but I think Feila is quite happy with that time nonetheless.
I think they would be very happy with it under the circumstances. There's a passage of play that I really want to just analyze for a second, because this is something that you could go over in a demo review and then still come out afterwards thinking, okay, we don't know how we could have won that. So inVision used their Uber early, which you kind of have to when pushing in that area. They use their Uber early, but in doing that, they lose Sam, cart pusher, and they lose Stinghand, who can watch from main and get some cheeky picks. So they have 2 players down, 2 crucial players down. They Uber in, but they manage to kill the Pyro, the Heavy, and another class. There were 3 down, Feila. In that situation, your respawns are faster, you think everyone's going to be in position, and you see out that round. But Joe, instead of doing what any other demo would do and just back away to a passive spot and focus on the car, decides he's going to run into the combo and get 3 kills. You cannot expect that unless you know you're playing against Joe, in which case you should always expect that. And he bought them at least like 30-45 seconds there. Stinghand is going to be the first casualty on this next phase as he gets outsniped by Kuroi. And we see inVision kind of on the back foot already. Look at Layla and Joe so far forward, using Uber already. Grip is going to launch forward, gets the force out onto them. Mac is going to try and get some pressure on this high ground. Poi is taking a lot of punishment there, but Feila are in deep already, Domaytoe.
Oh, Mac is getting juggled so low. Someone, needs to support him. He almost died there in the end, and they're just going to get absolutely mangled down there. They're not even cows, but just insane charged shot there by the offensive team. Satan that was being Satan in the literal meaning of words, just engulfing these enemy players into so many flames. Joe tries to get forward here. Sam is the one who punishes him for doing that, but just so much aggression, going to force them out of even thinking about holding forward your draw. Also going to get headshot. Just they are tasting blood. There is blood in the water, and they're just going to walk forward here. Feila, that is Satan, is going to die there, but the Spy is in as well. They're trying to focus back once again down. They really have to fight them off here right now, and Poi is going to jump in way too early there, in my opinion anyway, and they're going to kill Grip there. They just about fought that off, and CJ, now it is time to do to Feila what they've, what Feila inflicted onto them.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity. A little bit too much aggression in the wrong place there, coming out of Feila. Wow, Lilypad using the Widowmaker of all things, getting the kill onto Mac, and that's really going to open things up. I was going to say that they were going in the wrong positions at the wrong time, but they're just going to use him through main. They're going to get so much. They take down the Sentry, they take down Asux, the counter Uber comes in, but there's just nobody to heal. It's just Stingan, Tercio, and DQZ versus the world, and they're all going to get cleaned up here. DQZ is just trying to run away and survive, but does not. Gets taken down by Joe. Joe is literally spawn camping, and this is just...
Tercio just looked so confused. He just walked out of the side tunnel and just looked about it. Where's my team? Well, they wiped, and you tried to like walk forward. They had no coordination there onto the combo. So weird to see that just DQZ being left completely in the open, only to like Uber Heavy, who then chases, and then he Uber Sting him. Like, they definitely have some hiccups there into their combo. Mech once again just dying, not expecting Feila to be this aggressive, but they are, and they're still walking forward. 6 minutes, so much time to just take this, and the entirety of the enemy team there from Feila is just on the tracks itself, going to push that card all day long, but Grip gets his face just rubbed off there right now. They really have to stop this in their tracks right now. I don't think they can hold this last point for so long, so they just have to get more emphasis on holding this forward here onto the third point.
It's such a smart play to just get that car up the first ramp with the entirety of your combo. Layla down to 9 HP, has to use that uber aggressively, but DQZ is nowhere close, 70%. Mac is just going to get reflect pipes. Stingray goes down to the pipes of Joe. There is no demo, there is no sniper on this third point. DQZ does not have an uber, and if we know anything about Feila, we know they're going to keep pressing W here. Karoy is the one pushing the cart right now, trying to get some headshots, does manage to get some damage onto Asix. And the cart is up the second ramp already. DQZ gets the Uber. They're going to have to use it, otherwise it's going to be a last hold. Asix gets backstabbed. Axio takes down the NG and the Sentry. Strelo is going to have to try and focus the car here. It's trying to grill Lilypad. Will eventually get the kill, but there's just chaos all over the place right now. inVision are fighting for their lives on this third point, and I just think for a second they may have got a little bit of stability here and are able to just settle down and get some sort of hold. The Stinger dies to BB. They lose Twoe as well. This is just a constant DM back and forth.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you have a truncal point right now to rethink their strategies, but they're not even giving themselves that. Like, Feila aren't giving them that, but they're also not giving themselves that, because they're just going forward here. But Tercio is going to clean up set. They really have to clear this card right now if they even want to hold this, but in the end, they're just going to lose their engineer. Even then, they're going to back out to the last point. I think they got quite, I don't even want to use the word lucky, but just fortunate, I suppose. And just so much aggression there onto the top. Joe is also going to try to throw, just once again so aggressive. Under 4 minutes there. I think they were quite lucky there to just be able to hold the third point for a bit longer there. Just Feila being so aggressive, Py getting fought out. They really, really have to push the issue right now. They have 70% advantage and they have to get a plan into their defensive plan stance. But they're getting forced there, just like that, walking in.
Oh, Asix is going to get the stab onto the engineer. Asix's Sentry has been stabbed. It's actually going to come behind. Oh no! The body block and the extinguisher grip just manages to take down the entire team. Oh my word! What are we witnessing right now? There's over 3 minutes to go, and Feila are just going to roll the car in. They're going to take all of the points. And they have shown there's more than just two teams here that are capable of getting to the final this time around.
Oof.
Feila showing that there are going to be potentially more than two teams trying to contest for that final in a few weeks' time. We will have more action for you in the future, though. Right now, you can see all of our social media. Check us out on Twitter and Discord, of course. And if you want to support us, Patreon, sub on Twitch, or you can check out the merch, chriscross.com/merch. Hope you all enjoyed the game, and we'll be seeing you next time.
Hi, old beaver! Away!